Hello everybody and welcome back to another Getting Stuff Painted, my bi-weekly give or take update on the various miniatures that have been getting painted for the games we play on the channel. All the bees again this time around. We have a chunk of Blood Bowl, almost said Bloodborne, we have some Star Wars Legion, and then we have some Batman, we have a truck going past my window. It's like these videos are cursed. With a little bit of DC miniature game mixed in, which I think they're just calling Multiverse now for some reason. Even though Multiverse was the word that Night Models used if there was a character that could be used in Batman and the DC Universe game. I don't know. Anyway, who cares? Let's start from the left and go to the right with Blood Bowl. So first of all, we do have the final two Necromantic Wolfenburg Crypt Stealer miniatures. These are the two flesh golems. Start with this one because he's the guy who's on the box. These are very fun. They are Frankenstein's monsters. They're a mishmash of different skins and whatnot. I just used washes for these. It's because they're quite pale. So that's Biotan Green straight on Grey Seer base, and that is Ultramarines, Drakenshade. Drakenshade Blue straight on to the Grey Seer base as well for the blue skin tones. Armour done the same way as the many others that we've been talking about. His brain is the Vulpus Pink, and then Agrax Shade over the whole thing. And they're very tough, they're very strong, and you can see the stitching down the back there. I'm happy with how that one turned out. I don't like the modelling on the other one quite as much. This one here, again, basically the same. Same pose, different face, he's drooling. He's got a helmet on instead of an exposed brain, which makes much more sense. But not as fun, I feel. I kind of wish they both looked the full Frankenstein's monster look. But still nice. He's got a boot there. My dog is crying at the truck outside. Crying doesn't make trucks go away, I've tried. And then we have the first of 12? Yeah, I think it's 12, even though one will be in reserves because you can only have 11 on the pitch. But the first 3 of the 12 Orcs from the 2018 Blood Bowl starter set. So not the newest team, not the Thunderjaw something or others. I actually don't remember what these ones are called, but they are from the starter set. And I kind of regret starting these ones because they're so spiky and it's so hard to get into all the bits and pieces. But I'm quite happy with how it turned out. So the colour scheme I went with them is Blood Angel's Contrast for the armour with Agrax over the top and just some Grey Seer for the lines and decals and numbers. Grey Seer for the teeth. Vulpus Pink for the visible mouths. And there is a contrast called, I think it's called Orc Flesh, or something like that. I don't have that. In the past, I did a contrast paint video on a Orc war boss, rather, for 40k, and I liked the way that turned out, so I just did the same again. Used Warp Lightning with a wash over the top, some Snakebite Leather as well. And then that is the textured Games Workshop mud paint, whatever that's called. Mordant Earth, something like that. Which you just apply onto a base, and then it cracks. And if you want a certain colour exposed through, paint it that first. I paint the bases Snakebite Leather just so it matches the brown. And I use the same colour scheme. These are all just this Orc team's equivalent of linemen. I think it comes with 2 Black Orc Blitzers and 2 Throwers maybe? Unless Orcs have a special word for Throwers. But I decided to focus on the rank and file just to test colour schemes and whatnot. They're all fairly the same, like armour in the same places, just the pose is different. I think there's 2 of each of these poses in the box. And this is the most recent one, just finished this morning in fact. Subject to change. Actually, you know, looking at this, I feel like I forgot to apply wash to the front bit of his armour, because that's too bright compared to everything else. I might have done. I feel like I forgot to apply a wash to him. So that's a nice way actually to tell the difference between an unwashed section and a wash section. If you want the colour to be brighter, then there you have it. But I kind of like them looking used, let's say. But yeah, I feel like I didn't apply, I either didn't apply enough, or I just totally forgot when I was working on this one this morning. I'll fix that up off camera. So then we have Star Wars Legion, starting with Princess Leia, except not in her classic Princess Leia dress. This is Return of a Jedi Princess Leia, where she's kind of just acting like a ground troop for some reason. Talisar blue for her pants, Militarum green for her top, Agriculture Shade over the top, Guilliman Flesh for the skin tones, and Wildwood for her hair, and black for the boots. Simple model, she's a commander model, so she can be the boss of a Republic force. Unlike the 4 Throne Room Guards, I think they're referred to. These synergize with Palpatine, but you can bring them without Palpatine if you wanted to. So I did use 2 different tones of contrast. I used the Blood Angel's Red for the cape and the cloak, but then the interior, I used Flesh Tear Red. Once the wash went on, I don't think the difference is like, now that I've pointed out, you can probably tell, but if I hadn't pointed out, I don't think you would have. So not as much point in doing that as I thought. And then just Black Templar for the guns and fighting staffs as well. Here is number 2. I think there's only 3 of these in a unit by default, and then you buy an upgraded one, the one with the staff at the end down there. Cool minis. The Throne Room Guards never do anything of note, but they look cool. I like them, and also very quick to paint. Which is just as well, because painting time has been at a premium again. He's kind of getting ready to either pull out something or fire the end of it off. So yeah, neat enough. Oh, there's a bit of fluff on the back there. It's not a missed bit of paint. I don't think, anyway. It shouldn't be. Oh, isn't it annoying when a bit of dust gets stuck? It is. There we go. I noticed it as I was spinning around there. I cleared it. There was a bit of dust. And then, as I say, I think this is the additional upgrade you have to buy for the unit. The fighting staff, just with a little bit of, I think that was Calgar Blue, not a contrast paint, that I just put in to give like the glow to his staff before applying the wash. So yeah, another unit down that isn't from the starter set for Star Wars Legion. I've just been picking units I like and painting them. So next we have my poor best doggo Crypto. If you saw the Two-Face Batman miniature game unboxing, this was a Black Friday special night models threw in. And it came in a poly bag. It looked horrible. It was their old resin, but it looked untreated. And I didn't notice at the time, but his paw is broken. So he isn't touching the ground with that paw, because it's broken off. I did what I could with him, just to get him done. Blood Angel's Red for the cape. I just applied a wash over the white, and then some of the Nazrag yellow for his gold collar, and red eyes to look like he's zapping. But yeah, you can't save a poor sculpt. And again, if you didn't see him getting, well, I can't even call it an unboxing. He came in a little like baggie, like he was a bag of drugs or something. And go watch the Two-Face Batman miniature game unboxing. That's where I showed poor Crypto off in the state he got to me in. I did what I could. Speaking of which, this is Heatwave. He came in the Captain Cold box that I picked up cheap. Not really familiar with him. I think he and Captain Cold team up against the Flash. He has a Heat Ray. Pretty nondescript. This is Skeleton Horde contrasts with Aggressor Shade over the top. And yeah, I know nothing about him. I've never seen him in any of the comics. I don't think he switches sides, because Captain Cold is sometimes a good guy, sometimes a bad guy. I think he was in the Justice League for a little while. So who knows, but Heatwave, moderately forgettable, I feel. So 2 more miniatures. We have the Martian Manhunter, and then we have, well, what is it, Joker? Which is a Dark Souls emote that I'm very fond of. Martian Manhunter, underrated in terms of strength, power level in the DC universe, I feel. He's very, very strong. He's just exceptionally weak to fire. Fun miniature. This, you can probably tell by the way I'm holding it, it's the old metal version. He was updated to plastic, but I found the metal version super cheap and decided to pick it up. Talisar Blue, Agriculture Shade, Warp Lightning like I did for the Orc skin. That isn't contrast for the red. I actually just painted that on with, I think that was just Blood Angel's Red, the normal Citadel red. Or maybe Wild Rider. One of the two. It's hard to tell once the wash goes on. But yeah, he's a neat miniature. I don't know if the DC miniature game will ever make a return to the channel. It might do at some point or another. Not against Marvel though, because the 2 game systems are a bit unbalanced. But we'll definitely see John getting used here if we do another one. The one I did try and pick out is Red Eyes, but I don't know how well it's picked up, if at all. Maybe a bit. Maybe a bit. So finally, another metal miniature from back in the day. I managed to pick up cheap off eBay. Joker in his Titan form. This is very heavy as well. Thankfully he doesn't seem to have a bad arm syndrome because of the way they slot it in, which is nice. But he's an old metal miniature based on how Joker ends up at the end of the Arkham Asylum video game. Looking like a tyrant from Resident Evil. And I got him mostly just because I think it's a cool miniature. It existed long before I played the game. And this is just Null Oil over Grey Seer for his skin. Skeleton Horde for the bones and whatnot. Warp Lightning for his hair. And some of the blood Citadel paint for his claws on top of Skeletal Horde. But yeah, I really like this miniature. I don't know how he performs on the table, especially in 3rd edition. But I love the pose he's in because he's in my favourite Dark Souls emote pose. And he's super, like, compare him to a regular sized person, he is massive. And when I first saw how big he was, I thought it was misscaled. But really, I think I remember him holding Batman in one hand with ease at the end of that game, so I guess it is the correct size. We'll see him at some point, hopefully. Oh yeah, and also his like spine sticking through just reminds me of Tyranids. Because they don't look like bones, they look like armour. It's not quite in focus. There, see that? That's very Tyranid to me. But again, not had that much time to paint, so that's all we've got to show you this week. Hope it encourages you to get your stuff painted though, and if you do paint anything miniature wise and you want to show me, at GamerEND on Twitter, which is linked on the channel and whatnot. Next time from me, you'll see some Blood Bowl, some more Star Wars, some more Batman, I'm not sure what else, maybe a surprise. And with that said, I'm going to head off and probably do a little bit more painting. So thank you very much for watching, go paint your grey shame, and stay safe. I'll see you next time. Ta-ta for now.